Hi, I am Mark Lamb with Lambscapes, and we're here in Morganfield, Kentucky on this beautiful morning, and we're about to limb up this burning bush and create a secret garden underneath. So our theme at Lambscapes are gardens that tell a story, and the client wanted this to show underneath. So if you come around this way, hopefully you can see with the light. We're gonna limb this up, and we've already got some plants sitting in here, and we're going to do a natural pine mulch in here. We want to make it look very kind of like a fantasy land under here, and use all these shade plants. The client has some rocks in the back that are around here locally, some huge sandstones, and my business partner Jarvis and I are gonna load those in, create vignettes under here, so when his kids, grandkids come to visit, they can come up under here and play, and it'll be like a little secret garden.
Good morning, my name is Jarvis Elam, and I am the co-founder of Lambscapes. So as you can tell, Mark did a great job of explaining the bulk of what we're going to do here. So anytime you're doing any type of landscaping or making a landscaping bed, you always want some type of border. So and it can be any type of border. It can vary from stone border, plastic border, and even a natural border. And that's what we're going to do here. So we're going for this natural look. So once we limb this burning bush up where we can actually see under, what I'll do is get some spray paint and make a nice fine edge, and we'll get all these weeds out, and we'll make this nice edge to give it that natural look. So what I'm doing here right now is getting these weeds out, and thankfully they're really easy to get up. But instead of taking your hands and picking every single weed, what I'm doing is using this spade, which is my favorite tool by the way, and just scraping the top layer. Only thing you want to make sure is you're getting in the roots so the weeds won't come up. Then once I'm done getting all the weeds up, I'll just take a rake everything up in a pile, get all the weeds out, and there you have it.
So here I am inside, and you know, once you get inside and you start seeing how it could look from the inside out, and so things like this you have to look and see judiciously. Do I want to cut this, or will it hurt the integrity of the shrub? But then you find a lot of things like this where it's just dead, and so you're having to pull up dead things. But then things like this, that can open. I need my loppers. Then it can open that up, and you see already it starts to expand out. You know, do we want this movement here? Or do we want to open it up a little bit, like here, this branch underneath? Just one little cut can make a difference in how the shape of the shrub is going to be inviting into the space. So anyway, that's what we're doing here. Got to get all the dead out too. So we're starting to limb up underneath, and now I'm looking at the shape of the tree. And for example, this is sticking up and it's kind of impeding an umbrella shape that we're kind of going for. So I'm going to go in and do a blind prune where you don't see the cut, but then it kind of opens it up and helps the whole shape of the tree in the long run.
Now, as you can tell, the majority of the bed is good and weeded. And now what we're going to do is take these pine cedars and transplant them in his landscape. One thing that we like to do is use borrowed landscape. It just gives it that landscape touch. So that's where we're at right now. And then as you can tell, Mark's over there still limbing up this beautiful burning bush. Then once we get all that prepped, I'll start the edging and then go from there. To the point where we're getting ready to edge it. Alright, so what are you thinking, Mark?
You know, if you just look how the natural line of where the shade has been, it kind of tells its own story, like how it should go. So what do you think, Jarvis?
And
like,
the client doesn't want a straight oval, so
yeah,
kind of wants it curved.
So there are no straight lines in nature. So we're listening to nature, like what we think, how it just naturally does instead of us trying to force it. And then you get a much more natural look. And also part of our signature is making it look like it's been here for a long time. So it gives it that aged look instead of something new. It's more.
What do you think? What do you think right here, Mark? Should I go out this way or should I cut it in?
I feel like maybe we should cut behind the telephone pole.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking. So as you can see, we got the edge spray painted, and as you can tell, go along the line, it's got a little curvature. Again, the client just didn't want just a normal oval, so I try to add some curve to it. All right, now here's the fun part. When doing this edge, I like that sharp part on the outer side of the edge, and it's easy. All you got to do is just chop right at the edge. And you'll do that all the way around. Then what you'll do is come back and turn it the other way. All right, again, you want the outside of the blade, all right, on the inside of the edge. And you just chop it. Do that all the way around. Now that we've weeded and edged the bed, It's time to lay the fabric and staples.
So back here, the client has these rocks that are locally sourced, and we're going to incorporate them into the landscape. So we always like finding stuff that the client already has that we can use in the landscape. So here we go. So we're going to take these rock and strategically place them under here to give it some movement and also ground the space, give it level, and it'll make it even look more natural. So that's what we're going for. And I look at the shape of the rock. For example, this one, I like how it has the natural look, and I want to take it and place it where it complements these branches. You see how there's a point, and then we can ribbon it through. I'll adjust it to make it look good, but see, it draws the eye in and under. Okay, so now it's time to start planting. Normally with the landscape fabric, we would cut holes and drape it over the plants, but because this is a new plant or a whole new bed, and these are very delicate hosta, I'm just going to go ahead and cut a hole to fit the plant in. So I'm going to do a cross here like that. A little bit more. And then that gives me a hole to plant. And then here, make sure all the roots are out because we're under a tree here. Since we're under this tree here, just checking for any roots or anything. And then here's a little trick. I'm going to take this out of the pan first. Place it to the side very carefully. And then I can use this can to put the dirt in for the hole. Can you see that? And this is, you know, we're in West Kentucky here, Morganfield. There's usually a pretty good soil here. But just to give this a good chance of establishing itself, I'm going to dig out some of the native dirt here. So you can kind of see how I'm looking, how it'll give it some space and a little bit of depth, aerate that soil. And then I'm going to use some premium potting soil. You see how I like this brand. It's Barky Beaver. We get it at Wadlington's Nursery. They've been very good to us. So it's got a lot of some grit in it, has some vermiculite so the plant can breathe, mulch. And then I use Plant Tone. Sometimes I use this is a Spoma brand. Sometimes I use the starter fertilizer. It's been harder to get with COVID, but this is an all organic fertilizer, so it's going to help the roots establish. So I just work that down in there, and then see the plant here, give a little bit of, let the roots open up. You don't have to scruff it up too much because this plant's ready to go on the ground, you can tell. Got this plant also at Wadlington's Nursery, local nursery here. I'm going to set it down in there. Look at the placement. Right now it's blooming, and I want the eye to draw towards our ornaments here, the bough and up into the tree. So that's the reason why I'm planting it that way. And then I'm going to top it off with more of this good soil. Unfortunately, there's not a hose here that will reach, so I'm going to bring down some watering cans of water and water these in real good. But you want to tap it down to make sure you don't get any air pockets, so the roots are tapped down. And then I'm going to take that fabric, go back over it, and then we'll water it in, and we're good to go. Okay, so now we're getting to mulching. It's like adding the icing on the cake. And like I've been saying throughout this, I want to get a real natural look. So, you know, when you're in nature, there's not just one type of terrain. There's rock, there's undergrowth, or like the forest floor. There might even be pea gravel. So we're just going to mix this media to create kind of a story. Got to plant these still, but you can kind of see where we're going. We'll have layers, different rocks that'll tie it all together. So you can tell we've mixed some media. Now we're going to add pine straw to give it that super natural look. So and once we get the pine down, we'll see how it looks. We might add some more accents here and there, because you know our theme is gardens that tell a story, and the story's starting to emerge. So we try to listen to what's in nature and make something special. you.